आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're live and this is the nation's sharpest opinion on what might turn out to be a long night, because around 8:30 p.m. we got the news that there are multiple drone attacks attempted by Pakistan, and the operational word is that Pakistan has attempted drone attacks. We then got the news confirmed by 8:33 p.m. that there was a swarm of drones which were targeting the Jammu area. The news had begun to come in around 8:20, but we got authenticated confirmation by about 8:23 p.m. that yes, there had been air raid sirens, that there was a blackout which was immediately issued. That's where the civil defense preparedness comes into effect. And yes, there was a drone attack. Then by 8:37 p.m. we got a confirmation that our air defense systems had successfully launched counters, and in most areas there were projectiles which were neutralized. Our reporter Gursimran was then on his way to the airport of Jammu, and we hope to get him live to you in about 5 minutes at the most this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, this is therefore a war situation. There may not be an open and formal declaration of war. What the government of India is saying is that we are in a continuously evolving situation. We are told that there is momentum to the situation, but to assume that the crisis is over would be unreal. The crisis has not been escalated by us. This is Pakistanis with their own choice and their own compulsions, because they've lost so many terrorists. They need to prove to the terrorists that they have something to hit back with. Before I go to Gursimran, I want to make 3 simple points to all the viewers of Republic tonight. First, be united, be together, and we're absolutely fine. We're going to hit them back, and we're going to hit them back straight. First point, no country has been as prepared for escalation as we are today. The Indian Air Force, fully alert and battle ready. We have an integrated, absolutely integrated Pakistani strike attempt, which has been neutralized as of this minute by the S-400 air defense system, which is called the Sudarshan Chakra system. This is the Iron Dome of India. We also have our own indigenous Akash system. Together, the S-400 and the Akash can neutralize any kind of foreign object moving into the country. As of tonight, you also need to know that all border regions of Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, Punjab and Uttarakhand are on very high alert. We are totally on alert. This is a different country. This is not the country where Shiv Shankar Menon wrote after 26/11 that doing nothing is the best option. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the place where we do nothing. Where they planned the LET headquarters, the attack in Muridke, we have hit. We know Pakistan will want to hit back, but this is a different country. We have taken 2 weeks to prepare after Pahalgam, and the Prime Minister has said very, very clearly that we are going to hit them hard in a way that they cannot even dream of. This, in simple English terms, is called power projection. Power projection is when a state has the ability, the elements of national power, primarily military, but also diplomatic, also international, also economic, beyond its territorial borders or influence. That's when we begin to use that influence. Then we are a country that becomes a great power. This is India's movement from being a middle power to a great power. That is because Narendra Modi, as Prime Minister of India, is not afraid of projecting power. This is not the country that Zia-ul Haq wanted to bleed with 1,000 cuts. That policy has backfired. India is only beginning to execute its power projection. In the next 1 hour, I'll bring you many live reports and some fantastic analysis. I don't know if I have Gursimran live with me from Jammu Airport, but okay, I'm told I have him with me. So I'll begin by going straight across to Gursimran, our fantastic reporter in Jammu. Gursimran, the latest situation in Jammu, the first reporter to reach the Jammu Airport area. Gursimran, what's the situation in and around the airport and around the Jammu region and adjoining areas? Gursimran.
Arnab, right now we are outside the Jammu airport. The airport has been secured for now. I'll request Sir Jivan to quickly shift to the visuals that this is the Jammu airport which has completely been secured for now. There have been launches even a couple of minutes back. We have seen the launches of these air defense system that is here. But now we are told that the situation is under control. There has been a complete blackout that has been placed in Jammu. Reason being that this is to avoid any of the collateral damage. Now we are hearing that the ambulances have reached inside the Jammu airport. Also, the quick reaction team of the Jammu and Kashmir police and the special operations group, they have entered the Jammu airport premises. We can confirm that with authenticity that the additional deployment has now entered. That means the threat for now is over. Now they are going to scan the airport thoroughly. But for now, everything has been put on standby. There was a key meeting that was going inside the airport premises, very close to the airport premises. That too was stopped. That was senior officials of the Jammu and Kashmir police and the Indian Army. They were holding a meeting. At that given time, there was a barrage of drones that came to the Jammu airport. Also, the other target was one of the divisions of the Indian Army. I'll request Sir Jivan to go to the visuals. You see that this is the special operations teams that are now entering.
Go to Gursimran.
The white light that you see.
Go to the video.
The white light that you see is of the special operations group. That is there. The special operations group is the team of the Jammu and Kashmir
Do not
group
let
police
Ram
that
move
is
in
specially
now.
trained for the anti-terror operations. And now I will request Sir Jivan to come this way because the SOG teams have gone in. The SOG teams are carrying out the security drills so that they can secure the base. For now, there has not been any launches for last 5 to 7 minutes because the SOG teams have taken over. That is, I can confirm the teams of the Jammu and Kashmir police as well as the NSG that has been deployed there. They have completely taken the control of the Jammu airport, Arnab. That is what we can confirm from on ground. What we can see, the base is secure for now.
Yeah, I can see you there now. Yeah.
That there has not been
Can I
any
see
launches.
Gursimran? Can I see Gursimran? We're repeating the visuals. Can I see Gursimran? Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you, Pradeep. Gursimran, please continue. Yes. We've been running the visuals on a loop, but I haven't seen my reporter.
Right now,
Naturally,
the
I'm
teams have
concerned.
entered the base. We are having the NSG that has secured the base. Another important thing is that within 30 minutes to 30 minutes is the odd time, 30 to 45 minutes that they have secured this base. The Jammu airport is now secure. The Jammu airport, that attempt was made from the Pakistan side to launch an attack. There were two simultaneous attacks that were launched at this very place. One was aimed at the Jammu airport. The second attack was aimed at the division of the Indian Army that is very close to the Jammu airport. So two installations were targeted. Also, one other target was the Sunjwan army base of the Indian Army, but there the missile has landed, but it did not explode. That we can confirm. Also, the Badi Brahmana base of the Indian Army, that was also on the target. That is in the Samba district. That was also a target. So at a couple of places there was a drone target, and at other places there has been a target of missiles.
So Gursimran, what is quite clear from what you are saying, and this is a ground report, is that they have clearly tried to target multiple military locations. There's no doubt about that. This is a pure military installation targeted attack. Thank you, Gursimran. I'm going to come back to you. The first question on my screen tonight, viewers, is what can one expect going forward, therefore, in Operation Sindoor 2? We have with us, of course, our fantastic panel. Do we have General Bakshi also with us? Should we go to him first? Okay, let's go to everyone. We don't have General Bishambar Dayal. Your attention to that question we have the situation, ground situation. We are under attack. This is pure military installations being targeted. What do we expect tonight, tomorrow?
Arnab, I am absolutely clear. This is not act of war. This is war. Pakistan has declared war, like General Bakshi said. In 1971, when he did this on 3rd December, we declared war and we took actions what was suitable. Air counteroffensive through air does not require 2 days, 3 days, 1 day. It is well rehearsed, well prepared. We suppress them by our own fire rather than just be on the defensive. And mobilize the ground forces, cold start, occupy your sensitivities, and then take his sensitivities before he realizes.
Absolutely.
You must go offensive.
In fact, I would say we have more visuals coming in from Jammu. I think he's given us an opportunity out here. I had another set of visuals before I go to our next guest tonight. Can we play the latest set of visuals with the audio also up for just 15 seconds? Yeah, there you see, ladies and gentlemen, there we are hitting back and people are excited. Thank you, I got the audio there. Thank you very much, don't lead me onto it. And I'm now going across. We're hitting back and the people are excited out there. Thank you. And the people are extremely excited out there because they're seeing our forces hit back. Deepak Vora, a declaration of war tonight. I think they've given us an excuse or an opportunity to hit them really hard now in Operation Sindoor 2. How will we calibrate it?
Didn't the Prime Minister meet the army chief today?
Yes, he did.
And if he did, I'm sure they would have discussed the next steps. This is our normal process.
Yeah.
If we are going in for a declaration of war, let me assure you that South Bloc, the Ministry of External Affairs, will be very active, sending out cables to ambassadors in all countries, especially the ones that matter most to us, so that we can tell them. And when there is a situation like this, sir, we all sometimes wake up the ambassadors of those countries in New Delhi, summon them and say, this is what we are doing. So I believe if we are going to go to war, this, as your colleagues in the military have said, this is war without a formal declaration.
This is war. I have former Air Chief, Air Marshal Bhadoria also with us. Good evening, sir. Now you're seeing the pictures. We got some latest visuals. From what you're seeing, from the visual imagery, what do you think has happened in the last 45 minutes?
Very clearly, they have now decided to...
Yeah.
And I think yesterday was a bad decision on their part. This is even worse.
Why is that? So why is it worse?
Because they haven't realized what we are going to do. In response to yesterday, what they did, they targeted some of their critical assets. Although it was still a measured response.
We only went through their air defense.
Only air defense, and that too only some.
Yeah.
We could have gone to 10 times the target, but it was a measured response.
Yeah.
It was in order not to escalate beyond a point, and also give them opportunity to de-escalate.
Yeah.
Very clearly, because government has said very clearly, we are not interested in escalation.
Yeah.
We hit terrorist targets.
Yeah.
You better stay off.
But this is not a face saver they are looking for. I want to go across to Kamal Sibbal tonight, who's a fantastic diplomatic voice. Kamal Sibbal, good evening, sir. How are you? And can you tell us, sir, now that you're seeing this, we are evaluating it from diplomatic, political, and military views, all three. Kamal Sibbal, we've just heard in the last 45 minutes to 1 hour, a lot of drone attacks targeting military installations, almost all unsuccessful in Jammu, in the Akhnur area. We're in a state of preparedness with our air defense targets in Pathankot, all adjoining areas. We're very alert. But they've also, I've been told, attempted to target Jaisalmer. Someone, can you confirm that to us, please? What did they try to do with Jaisalmer area?
Jaisalmer also, there was another drone attack, and another confirmation coming in, Arnab. It's not limited to drones. Missiles have also been launched towards Jammu.
Missiles in what location?
Missiles have been intercepted in Jammu, is what we are being told, that the air defense system has brought
And what has happened in the Rajasthan border around Jaisalmer?
Rajasthan, we've just gotten confirmation the drones were moving towards Rajasthan. That has been intercepted too.
So this is moving very fast, which means they thought that they would call us relatively earlier in the evening. Now, what are our options? Over to you, Kamal Sibbal. How do you read this very rapidly evolving situation?
Well, we have the moral high ground, we have the diplomatic high ground,
Louder, please.
And we have the military high ground. Now, the world is counseling de-escalation, but in this escalation ladder, India is in full control. The initiative has been left to Pakistan to de-escalate. And as it appears that they are upping the ante and they'll be hit back very hard. So, but I suppose they have no choice because they have to prove that Pakistan is powerful enough to take on India. They've always looked for some kind of parity, but far more important than that, it is the Chief of Army Staff of Pakistan who actually governs Pakistan and is in charge of policy. And he seems to be a die-hard, bigoted Islamist who harks back to the division of India and wants to, focus on the different religious differences between the two countries. Kashmir is the jugular vein. He's been inciting these terrorists who have then staged this attack in Pahalgam. So he will overplay his hand, and then he will be punished for it. Yes, in the process, there will be some damage probably done to India, but Pakistan will suffer far more damage, and more importantly, once it is clear that Pakistan has not achieved its goal and has suffered punishment, there will be further internal turmoil within Pakistan, because large parts of Pakistan already are rested, whether it's Balochistan or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or even Sindh.
Yeah.
And when they see that the army has not been able to defend Pakistan sufficiently, then I think the Chief of Army Staff, who's already at loggerheads with Imran Khan and his party, will find that his position has been weakened and there will be therefore more political chaos in Pakistan. If this is what they're wishing for, so be it. And the pressure will be on them to de-escalate even their Chinese friends and the Americans and others. I have always been worried that if there is a military standoff between the two countries, Pakistan being the weaker country, actually will not only face defeat, but it can have much more consequences regarding for internal stability in Pakistan. Therefore, as you've seen in the previous such instances, they've always come into the fray and asked for de-escalation. You remember what Clinton did after Kargil? He read the Riot Act to Pakistan because he knew that Pakistan was heading for a defeat if there was an all-out war. The same logic will apply now, which is why countries are advocating de-escescalation.
But how will he face his people tomorrow morning, Asim Munir?
Is in no position to listen to reason. Since its creation, it has been an irrational entity governed by irrational people, following irrational policies, and they'll come to an irrational end.
So, you know, this is a very fine analysis there. I would request you to stay on for a while right now. Abhishek, see, I believe the next question which is on my mind, viewers, and I want to explain all the frequently asked question in a situation like this. First, again, to the people of the country, or what do you need to do? You need to stay united. You need to believe in your government, in your Prime Minister, in your National Security Advisor. You need to believe in the government of India, our armed forces, and our ability to hit back, which we will. That is the first thing which we need to do. However, I'm told right now there's heavy artillery firing which is underway in Samba and Akhnur. This is not a time to at all be perturbed. This is a time to be strong. We can be amused at what the Pakistanis are doing. Remember, we are the world's fourth largest economy, with the fourth largest military and the world's largest population. All we have to do is be motivated and clear in one direction. The question on my mind, I ask right now to our panel this evening, if I can have your attention, please. If their air defense system has been smashed, my question is, if their air defense system has been smashed, how aggressive can they get? How aggressive can they get? And how much of their air defense system has been smashed by us last evening? Briefly to you, General Dayal, please.
Right. To be very precise, we have degraded one of the air defense system which was located around Lahore.
Not all.
Right. So that's their main system. That's the system which is the latest induction into their army.
Yes.
And which has got a range about 100 plus kilometers. It's a poor copy of S-300 of Russia. Now, air defense being weak, Arnab, I mean, that's a defensive measure. Pakistan will try and be aggressive.
Yeah.
These are all aggressive. These are all aggressions. These are offensive actions.
I also just was telling a producer, I want that one clip where the Pakistani defense minister asked, I think on a channel, foreign channel, we can use it with right reason for news, says, who told you that Indian jets have been brought down? And he said, I heard it on social media. I want that clip brought out. Yes, please, General Dayal, sorry for interrupting.
What I'm saying is that he will continue to be aggressive with his rockets, with his drones, with his with his missiles. So if you have to stop that, you got to destroy them. See, only missiles can be destroyed by air, by the AD systems once they are picked up. But all rockets cannot be detected. All drones cannot be detected. All ground forces actions of, like on the LC, he's firing with artillery. So it's time to destroy this with our offensive. And our offensive has to be based both by air, by the strategic missiles, and also we should now mobilize our ground forces. Till you don't mobilize the ground forces, till you do not occupy own sensitive areas and his sensitive areas. I don't want to name some places. You capture 3-4 of them and you see the difference.
I want to ask that same question to General Bhadoria, but before that, Abhishek, Shawan has more details on the shelling along the LOC.
Yeah, well, in fact,
Shawan, over to you. Shawan.
In fact, Arnab, now we are being told that the National Hydel Project campus has also been targeted. Apart from that, shelling has begun along the LC.
National Hydel Project campus.
National Hydel project campus has also been targeted, but in most cases we are being told that the drones have been intercepted. In Kashmir, as far as the LC is concerned, they've also started shelling.
But this sounds pretty mindless, Marshal Bhadoria. There seems to be, apart from the fact that they are saying, let's appear to get a visual, let's just hit wherever we can. This is not a focused, targeted attack by the Pakistanis. They are mixing up a lot of locations, which they think are strategic, but it appears to me there hasn't been enough thought given to the locations or to our preparedness. Marshal, from what you're hearing of the locations, what do you reach? You've been Air Chief till recently, sir.
I think it's mindless and it's irrational, both in choice of targets and the way they are going and the way they are escalating. And I want to study more of this, what they've done on this National Hydel project in that campus. And if it has to go do anything in this zone, they don't know what they're stepping into. They don't know what they're getting into. Even with this escalation, be rest assured that our response would be very robust.
So they're using the F-16s. They're using the F-16s which have been given to them by America.
Yes.
Is there an end-use constraint that Americans put, or are the Americans allowing them to use that against India?
Oh, that's very interesting.
Because,
Arnab,
yeah, please.
Because whenever Americans have given them some very high-tech weapons on F-16, it has always been to looking at Afghanistan and looking at what Pakistan Air Force needs to do in order to tackle or support Afghanistan and American effort there. I must tell you that the best of the air-to-air BVR missiles that were given to them were precisely this. And all along, Americans had told us, even formally, that those will not be used against you. We did not believe it in terms that we have to be prepared for their best missile capability, and they ended up using it even in their response to Balakot.
Yeah.
So while they do this, end use is supposed to be this, they have flouted it. And I don't think Americans at any stage have forced this. So this is one important point as far as the issue that you raised. On this issue of what they are doing now, I think the response will be very robust and it will get us into the next even more escalatory stage. And they must realize that it is on them to de-escalate. The ball is in their court to de-escalate. We are not going to de-escalate.
I don't think they are de-escalating at all.
We are not going to de-escalate.
I don't think they are de-escalating at all, and I think this is a golden opportunity. Abhishek, how are you reading? What's the latest news?
If we go beyond a certain
inputs
point,
from you, Abhishek.
No, basically the Pakistanis are looking at a ramp-off which India is not providing.
Yeah.
And since the ramp-off is not coming, General Munir is in a cul-de-sac. If he does not escalate, he would be sacked there in Pakistan. And
he has to. He's saving his face.
If he escalates, then India, of course, is going to hit back with double the force. So obviously, damned if you do, damned if you don't, and the Pakistani general is effectively being suicidal because he's escalating and he's going to get it back.
Absolutely. Now, the question in everybody's mind is they've done it a second time. Can they do it a third time? Can they do it a third time? Ladies and gentlemen, my next question this evening, can Pakistan try to attack Indian locations for a third time? I think they can, but what is their end game? I mean, come on, Mr. Sibal, because you have to go, I want to put that question to you. How do you read their game? I mean, diplomats are known to have tried to assess the Pakistani mind. I think Shahbaz Sharif is in a fix. I think the army is acting on its own. I don't think there's political approval needed or required at this stage for them. But they have to give a face saver. Today, there were people who were weeping in the Pakistan National Assembly, weeping, crying, say, may Allah Ta'ala help us. May Allah come and help us. Save us from the Indians. So obviously, the political establishment is saying to Asif Munir, you started it, give us something to go back to the people with. In the given situation, your prediction for what will happen in Sindoor 2 phase, which is the next 24 hours. Kamal Sibal.
I think the Pakistanis will have to step back. There will be a lot of pressure on them.
This doesn't look like they're stepping back, sir.
United States, China, and others to step back because they'll be worried about Pakistan's future and its internal fractures, which will get even deepened because of the pain that Pakistan will suffer militarily and otherwise. So, but then point is that these fellows have a larger-than-life image of themselves, historically.
Okay.
And therefore, they will commit more and more mistakes and land their country into trouble. You see, the point is that India doesn't want really escalation. We've made our point very strongly. that the days of impunity with regard to
don't need the escalation. Good point. Breaking
over,
puts.
and we will take
Gursimran.
whatever steps are necessary. And it was extremely bold, I must say, to target these 9 sites, or the terrorist sites in Pakistan, including Bahawalpur and others. The message is very strong. And it is a message which will resonate in Pakistan for a long time, that India is in no mood now to be in a situation
Reporters.
where, at will, Pakistan at any stage can stage a terrorist attack and put a lot of pressure on us, because it costs us a lot in terms of mobilization, public opinion, deflecting our attention from what we consider our primary objective, global growth, our growth, prosperity, everything else, and all our other plans as a rising power. This deflects us from our agenda. So it's not cost-free for us. That's why Pakistan takes this risk. But they are going to actually bear far greater costs, as I said earlier, and it can create even deeper fissures in Pakistan. We should not relent, and if they up the ante, we should hit them hard. This is an opportunity that we've had after a long time with a very strong-willed leadership to pay back Pakistan the way that we should have paid them back long ago, but with a clear view that there will be costs imposed on us. Not be costly, but we should be able to bear the cost.
Right now, Abhishek, we have breaking news. Breaking news coming in. Pakistan military has admitted, you want to add that, has admitted losing 2 F-16s. JF-17s. They've said 2 planes, JF-17 has been lost. Breaking news plates right now, ladies and gentlemen, in Chinese JF-17 Thunder jets have been destroyed by India. Abhishek, when did this news come in?
This
it
is
came in the
during
press
the
conference.
dogfight that happened during Operation Sindoor, or no, while Pakistan was claiming that they have downed Indian jets. No admission there, obviously, because that has not happened. Now Pakistan DG ISPR himself admitting that 2 of their JF-17 fighter jets have been downed by the Indian Air Force in the counter that was carried out following those actions there day before yesterday. Overnight, that's a big admission coming in from the Pakistani side. Remember, they were trying to fool around with their own people by claiming that they have downed Indian jets, but ultimately ending up admitting that 2 of their fighter jets provided to them by the Chinese were downed by Indian Air Force.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one. Deepak Vora, now things are moving fast. Lahore air defense has been neutralized. Let me quickly summarize. This is a huge hit for both China and Pakistan. Pakistan going and embarrassingly having to say, yes, our fighter jets are down. The Indian air defense has worked extremely well. They have not been able to hit a single target. Gursimran is live from the Jammu air base where nothing significant has happened. One shell, I think, landed but did not explode. So this is expendable artillery. This is useless for the Pakistanis. Asim Munir is not going to be able to go back with anything more than saying that I tried but I failed a second time. Go ahead. He's saying,
what I'm saying is, even last night, one of the shells which they were showing, which had
a second night of failure. A second night of failure for the Pakistanis.
Next to Amritsar, in a field, that had also not exploded. That was an unexploded warhead. So that was looking like a 122 mm, warhead, which was rocket, which was lying unexploded. Arnab, the basic thing.
I have a video of the interception right now. I think we have a live interception. You're seeing the visuals. Ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Just look at the number. I want to play this up. This is beautiful. The sky is ablaze. And what are you seeing tonight? These are the interceptions. These are the number of drones. We are smashing it in the sky. Look at the number of drones that are coming in, and look at the way in which we are smashing through their interception of drones. Now, Samar, take a look at these visuals. Explain it to us. What's going on here? Some are military terms. Come on, explain it to us. You're the drone man. This is a beautiful shot of an interception. This is an Israeli kind of defense, but this is beautiful because I can see about 11. This is the Iron Dome of India. If you are watching this tonight from your homes, the reason for you to feel safe is because this is our firepower. They sent all these drones with several kilograms of explosives, and we destroyed them in the sky. This is Diwali night for us. We're going to eat up the Pakistani Air Force and the Pakistani machinery, and we're going to chew them and spit them out, which is what we are doing tonight. Samar, explain this to us. This is a beautiful visual. Explain to people what they're watching.
As the audience are watching on the screen live,
yes,
these are drone swarms. These are drone swarms with different payloads and different ranges.
Yeah.
The further it goes, probably the lesser the payload it has, shorter the distance, maybe the larger the payload of ammunition it carries. Then these can be stopped either by radio jamming. Second, we have the air defense system, which is automated, and it automatically acquires the heat signatures from these drones, and they are now being terminated out from the sky. So this is basically जिसे कहते हैं हम Chinese माल, जो Chinese फर्जी duplicate माल है. This has been procured by Pakistan, and it is the amount of money that is being, just poofed off. And, the Pakistanis can see these visuals. Don't buy it from the Chinese. See what has happened? They've made a hole in your pocket again.
Fantastic. I want, this is,
Instead of air defense, the Chinese have passed on the FASTag, toll system to the Pakistanis.
Anyway, we like playing Diwali. We don't mind crackers as long as they're so high up in the sky. They won't even increase the pollution. They just give us some entertainment. These poor Pakis are going to feel stupid tonight. This visual should be given across to the Pakistanis so that they know what they are dealing with. Samar.
There has also been a terrorist attack at a location where 2 terrorists have been terminated. We'll give you the details.
We'll get details of that. Deepak, what are your thoughts exactly at this moment?
Foreign Secretary Kamal Sibal, my guru, has just explained it so very clearly that Pakistan has miscalculated. It has made a mistake. It has underestimated the national resolve in India. Sir, may I, if you give me 30 seconds, you remember that this joker, the army chief, had talked of his country being a soft state. You remember that term?
I remember that, sir. I remember that.
When he was talking to his cadets. I don't think the buffoon even knows what that term means, because I'm an economist, and it was Gunnar Myrdal's term in 1968 when I was studying in college. Foreign Secretary Sibal, Gunnar Myrdal in his book Asian Drama said a soft state has 4 characteristics: very poor governance, social indiscipline, collapsing economy, and a totally ineffective military. Pakistan has all 4.
It's an ineffective military.
He's admitting himself that they don't have an effective military. I don't think he understands. He's so involved in quoting the Quran, misquoting the Quran, I beg your pardon. I speak Arabic. I couldn't understand a word of what he was saying. This fellow obviously doesn't. Somebody has puts it in his ear, he shoots it off. I think he's regretting very deeply the mess he has got himself into. And sir, since if the civilian government...
This is such a beautiful visual. I'm looking at this every moment. Sorry to interrupt you when you're in full flow. But ladies and gentlemen, I get goosebumps when I see this. I feel so proud. I feel we are vindicated. And I can tell you, sir, from your college years to mine, to Kamal Sibal's, all of us have always wanted this Bharat. This is the Bharat. We hit back. Even our defense is offensive. We've been restrained. And you know what, Deepak Saab? This is our restraint. This is not even our full action.
Sir,
this is automated military response.
You're so right, sir. I call this the Foreign Secretary Sibal, forgive me, I call this the Jamwan effect, how India has become Bharat. Just as Jamwan, the king of the bears, reminded Bhagwan Shri Hanuman of his strength, gave him back his self-confidence. India has rediscovered its strength and self-confidence. That buffoon sitting there across the border will now realize you don't mess around with Bharat, sir.
You don't dare to, sir. You don't dare to. I want a thought from Kamal Sibal. The thing with Kamal Sibal is he is so restrained in his words.
Oh, he's brilliant, sir.
But he's brilliant. He can be very effective. When he came on, we agreed to come on tonight. I said, great. I've got a great combination tonight. If Kamal Sibal, if this could be a video you could send to Shahbaz Sharif. This is, I'll cut and paste your video as a message from Kamal Sibal to Shahbaz Sharif. What would you tell him, sir? I mean, today we have this interception. I'm not overplaying any of this, sir. What would you say to him, sir, if you were to meet him today?
Well, actually, Shahbaz Sharif is a non-entity. He is not in power. He doesn't really govern the country.
Okay, to Asif Munir then, sir.
He's just a facade. Behind him is the Pakistani army chief. So there's no point in wasting one's messages by sending them to him, because he's not the chap who can absorb the right messages and then pursue the right policies and tell his army chief to desist. Actually, these kind of visuals should be sent to the army chief of Pakistan, that you have bitten more than you can chew.
You've bitten more.
And therefore, be sensible, step back, save your country, de-escalate, and you can save your own skin as well as the future of your country.
Yeah.
But then, the kind of a person that he is, I am very doubtful that he will understand or receive this message.
Well, I think you put it well, sir. You put it well.
They've been economically betrayed by China. They've been economically, technologically betrayed by China. Look at the substandard drones.
These drones are exploding like they are some noodles in the sky. They seem to have no armament. This is, we're chewing them up. We're chewing them like we would chew something in a tom yum soup. We're finishing them, ladies and gentlemen. And with us this evening is the graphic which shows you where we've been hitting. Please take a look at this, viewers. The headline for this graphic is, Pakistan fails again. You failure state, you failed again. You're taking on a country which is one of the world's largest economies and militaries. The different locations on your screen. Akhnur, Arispura, Samba fail. Talwara, Pathankot, Jammu, and of course in Channi Himat, there has been a targeting, but it has failed. Now, I have Saurabh Shukla with us. What we've done here on Republic, Saurabh Shukla of News Mobile, I really love the guy. He doesn't love me back as much, but he's a great guy from News Mobile. And from Washington, D.C., he is following the...
I love you as much, my friend, and we love the country.
Yeah, we love the country, absolutely.
The messaging that New Delhi is today, sending out to all major capitals, including the US here in Washington, D.C., is very clear that Pakistan has escalated this, turned into a full-blown war. India will retaliate. They've also given complicity of China now, how China has been ramping up support to Pakistan, and it's time for India's friends all over the world to now stand up with India. So this is the message. The third thing I want to tell you, which is a message which is being sent to all the citizens, that there is so much of disinformation and cyber war that Pakistan is unleashing. So every citizen watching this broadcast, wherever you are, beware. Pakistan is trying to spread a lot of misinformation to, make sure that they hit the morale of our armed forces, but we have to stay strong. So these are the messages which is going. And also Pakistan's complicity in how they are, hand in glove with the terror groups. Yesterday's funeral, the state funeral given to one of the biggest fugitive who was also on US's wanted list, is also an illustration that India is highlighting to its friends and allies tonight, to tell them that this is Pakistan's double game, that India is exposed, and this is a war that we are not only fighting for every Indian, we are fighting this war for the world, for everybody who values democracy and who has been impacted by this supermarket of terrorism that is Pakistan, and the terrorism fomented by them, Arnab.
Yeah, you're watching this, and a comment which goes also, General Bishambar Dayal, is that these attacks are really standing out what Pakistan has done, because what they have opened is a multi-front engagement. First, they have targeted multiple cities. This is also similar to 1971 because Pakistan had launched air raids on airfields in Punjab. This is reminding me of that.
This is reminding me of 3rd of December 1971. When he crossed in the evening of 3rd December.
Yes.
He went right up to Agra, but he could not cause much damage through his airstrikes.
Yeah.
And we thereafter declared a war that night itself.
Yeah.
And we started punishing him. And thereafter, it's a history.
That's why I mentioned.
Because in 15 days, there were 2 different countries, and we were talking to the 2 different countries.
No, this is
so what I'm saying is, he has created. Listen,
Friday, 3rd December 1971. I was on Doordarshan.
You were on Doordarshan.
I was anchoring a program like you.
He has started the war.
Yeah.
Now it is for us to take a decision. How should we punish him?
Yeah.
What sort of war should we fight?
Yeah.
What damage should we cause him? And how do we punish him when he comes to your negotiating table on your terms and conditions? Yeah. I mean, after 1971 war, where we were too large-hearted, during the Simla talk, he has never been to your negotiating table.
Yeah.
Musharraf did not come here on your terms and conditions. He came to Agra. Everybody was talking of his body language, his very suits. He didn't come a beaten man. You got to bring a beaten man. And this, I'll also tell you, everybody is saying now that Sharif is absolutely useless. I can assure you, this Munir ultimately will use this Sharif to save his face and get out of this the way Musharraf did to
but we are not providing a face saver. We are
escalating. Ultimately, there are a lot of intellectuals in this country who will take you to a negotiating table. This is what Musharraf did to his elder brother after Kargil. You see, you must understand the man, the Pakistani army. This is what they did in 71. Yahya Khan just disappeared.
Yeah.
And he sent Peri Bhutto.
I'd like to go to Vaibhav in Jaisalmer, please. I'd like to go to Vaibhav in Jaisalmer, just activating our news crew. Can we get Vaibhav up in Jaisalmer in a few seconds? Can we get Rakshita and Soumya up in Soumya? Okay, we have Vaibhav in Jaisalmer. I want to get a ground report. Vaibhav, जरा वहाँ situation बताइए Vaibhav. वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है Jaisalmer पे? ताज़ा खबर क्या है? Latest क्या है? वहाँ पे information जो आपको वहाँ पे civil और defense contacts से मिला है? Vaibhav. Tell us.
देखिए बिल्कुल अर्नब, इस वक्त अगर बात जैसलमेर की करें तो जो बॉर्डर का इलाका है वहां पर हैवी शेलिंग की खबरें आ रही हैं, लेकिन भारत लगातार उन हमलों का जवाब दे रहा है। F-16 जो है वो जैसलमेर के ही सरहदी इलाके में मार गिराया गया है और पूरे जैसलमेर में इस वक्त ब्लैकआउट कर दिया गया है। और महत्वपूर्ण यह है क्योंकि लगातार जो पाकिस्तानी की तरफ से शेलिंग की जा रही थी, उस शेलिंग का जवाब भारतीय सेना बढ़ चढ़कर अब ये जैसलमेर के इलाके में देती हुई नजर आ रही है। और एक सबसे बड़ी खबर यह है कि जैसलमेर के जो 3 एयरबेस हैं उनको लेकर भी जानकारी आ रही है कि पाकिस्तान की मिसाइलों ने उन एयरबेस पर अटैक करने की कोशिश की, लेकिन
जी बोलिए
बिल्कुल अर्नब, उन एयरबेस पर अटैक करने की कोशिश की, लेकिन उन्हें पूरी तरह से हमारे जो आयरन डोम है, जो हमारी रक्षा प्रणाली है, उसने ध्वस्त कर दिया है। लेकिन इस खबर को लेकर अभी पूरी प्रामाणिकता नहीं है। पूरी खबर क्या है हम लगातार अपने दर्शकों को बताएंगे, लेकिन फिलहाल बॉर्डर पर हैवी शेलिंग हुई है। जैसलमेर बॉर्डर बहुत ही कहीं ना कहीं से संवेदनशील इलाका है और वहां पर हैवी डिप्लॉयमेंट हमारी भारतीय सेना का है और वो अब लगातार पाकिस्तान की इस हैवी शेलिंग को जवाब दे रही है, मुंहतोड़ जवाब दे रही है। F-16 विमान जो भारतीय सरहद में प्रवेश की कोशिश कर रहा था, उसे भी S-400 ने मार गिराया है, यानी कि बहुत बड़ी एक कामयाबी। और पाकिस्तान की तरफ से आज जैसलमेर के इस इलाके में
ओके लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, अभी बड़ी खबर है मेरे पास। जो बड़ी खबर है, बड़ी खबर मेरी यह है कि अटैक स्टैंड्स फॉइल्ड मुझे फॉर्मली सारे डिफेंस सोर्सेज से मिला है। ऑल द बेसेस हैव बीन सिक्योर्ड, सारे बेस सिक्योर हो चुके हैं। All the assets of the Indian Armed Forces are 100% secure. This is good news and well done to the Indian Army. Well done, well done, well done. And this is fantastic news out here. तो ये एक तरह से psychological blow भी होगा. Marshal Saab, Chief Marshal Bhadoria ji, this will be a psychological blow for us. Their second attempt has failed.
Absolutely, it will be a big psychological blow. And now they are themselves admitting that 2 of the aircraft have been shot down. So the power of S-400...
So Pakistan admits F-16 shot down. Pakistan admits the second attack has failed.
Absolutely, absolutely. Second attack they haven't admitted, but they would need to, because none of our targets have got damaged, and it will be very clear to them now.
Yeah, so they don't have much options.
They don't have much options.
Their morale will be down.
Input, sir, that 2 J-17 and 1 F-16 in today's battle, it has been grounded.
And this is not, we're not getting this also confirmed from the Pakistanis. But the Pakistanis have confirmed it.
Maybe around Jaisalmer. So this can be very easily, detected, identified there.
I would expect last night also S-400.
Artillery firing there means in Jaisalmer, it's not like Punjab. It's not like that borders are so close. So that means his rockets are firing. He's firing from depth. Because there's depth there. All our targets are almost 20, 30 kilometers inside rather than Jammu. And similarly are his. Because on the border, there are only border posts, right? So if he's doing that, then I'm of the opinion that he's using his rockets and A-100 and all those rockets to quite an effect. And it's time that we also move in with artillery. We start using our Smirch. I'm of the opinion we should also start using our missiles now. Because we should, I don't know, I may sound little woe, and particularly since the former Air Chief is here. I somehow feel, sir, it's time rather than striking at all these things, can't we strike with precision his assets which can carry his nuclear arsenal? Don't you think we have that sort of a capability?
We have the capability.
So strike where he can carry. I mean, his carriers. I'm not talking of his arsenal. I'm talking of his carriers. I mean, deliver whatever. I mean, it may be. Now, what de-escalation? What escalation? I'm telling you, we are dealing with a rogue state. You are dealing with people who are. We have seen them in 71. We have been seeing them all over. We have grown seeing them. Our generation has grown seeing them.
Okay, I'm getting a visual from Udhampur live on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, ये जरा Udhampur का visual हम full frame दिखाएं. The latest visual coming in from Udhampur from all areas, ladies and gentlemen. पूरी air defense artillery units have been absolutely alert. These are visuals that are coming from Udhampur. I think similarly we are seeing explosions out there. We are seeing firing. There are air defense artillery which are moving. Look at this. Bhuj has already been targeted and they've been neutralized in Bhuj. This is Udhampur, the entire area. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Udhampur. Interceptions which are on. These are visuals only with Republic right now. The latest visuals are coming in from Udhampur. Interception matlab, the projectile was moving towards Indian territory, but before it could hit the ground, it was neutralized in the sky. I'm going across right next to Srinagar, where we have Soumya and we have Rakshita. I want a 30-second report from both of you, Soumya and Rakshita, on what's happening in the Srinagar area, though that's not the area which has been targeted today. Can you both in 30 seconds, first to you, Soumya, tell us what's happening, what's the mood there, how alert are we, and what are you hearing? Soumya, 30 seconds, then over to Rakshita. Soumya.
Yes, well, as of now, what we are picking up at the moment, right after Jammu, right after Pakistan tried to attack Jammu, now, as per the sources, Srinagar Air Base has been put on high alert, and with that, air defense batteries have been activated as well. So this is the developments that have been taking place here.
Okay. And what are you hearing from your defense sources, Rakshita?
Back to you.
Well, it's the same we did hear about right after Jammu attack. The Jammu attack, this attack was confirmed by the defense sources. Yes, the Srinagar system was put in on high alert. The defense batteries, air defense batteries, and Srinagar, of course, is also protected by the S-400. That is the Sudarshan system, which, of course, we were talking about with our guest right now on your show, that how it has thwarted multiple attempts from the cowardly Pakistanis. They're only trying to show what they can do, but it all goes out like made in China stuff, and that's what is happening right now. Yes, it's on high alert.
Goes out like made in China stuff. I think that's going to be Rakshita's viral moment where everyone says this is the right word used by the Republic reporter. This all goes off like the made in. This is the sasta mal of the Chinese. Rakshita, I think you've encapsulated our thoughts perfectly. We're going to come back to you. We're going to come back to you with all's good. We've been talking to our military contacts in Jammu. We're told all's good, lots of action, but all's good. That's fantastic.
And we have cancelled the match, suspended the match in Dharamshala, the IPL match, and Pathankot is absolutely safe.
No, but what they are doing, I think, why we need to hit out, this is the first time across 1971, across the Western Front. The 2025 attacks we are hearing tonight, viewers, is the first time since 1971 to involve coordinated attacks across Punjab, Rajasthan, Jammu and Kashmir. And they are targeting civilian and military with advanced weaponry. Urban centers have been hit. I can underplay this by saying, okay, we've hit them back. But the question is not what we have done in defense. The question is what they have tried to do in offense. They wanted to target Amritsar, a major border city 20 miles from the border. This is a level of urban disruption, attempted urban disruption unseen since 1971. There's a technological shift, of course. They are trying to use drones and precision missiles. We have the S-400, so we introduced a level of modern weaponry dimension that were absent in 1971. But this also shows the level of conflict intensity that they want. They want it. They want a conflict intensity.
So do you think they were trying to hit the Golden Temple?
So they could have tried to hit the Golden Temple, I believe, because the way they targeted the Sikh Gurdwara yesterday was clear that they are targeting the Sikh community of this country. It's very possible they were trying to hit the Golden Temple. Otherwise, I cannot understand why they were targeting Amritsar in particular. We do not know. It was not the Amritsar airport. They were trying to target Amritsar city. And that is why I don't take anything beyond the Pakistanis. They're evil people, sir, as you know. They have ill intent. And they also want to target army. They want to target everything else. What do you think,
I know what happened in 1984. Air Marshal is here. He knows. No, you don't touch the Golden Temple, sir. No. I'm half Sikh. I know it, sir. Sikhs around the world will clobber, will break the spine of every Pakistani they come across anywhere in the world and have him for breakfast.
But they targeted a temple, they targeted a Gurdwara in Punch. They targeted that. This is exactly what they tried to do in 1971. This is what they tried to do in 1971, sir. And Gurse, this is what they tried to do in 1971. They wanted a societal impact. This is terrible.
They're going to pay through the nose. They're going to pay through the nose. You never know, we take back Kartarpur. We might just go ahead. I mean, the Sikhs...
They have tried to open up the entire Western front, Samar.
And Sikhs are fuming. Sikhs are fuming, especially after what they've done in Punch.
Yeah.
There have been visuals of a young child who's been martyred. There are 3 Gursikhs who've been martyred. They are going to pay a heavy price.
Okay. India, if anything is stuck in India, it is a pain to India, not to any of our single communities. Gurdwara,
all of the nation.
The Golden Temple is as dear to me as to the Sikhs. Every property in this country, every civilian, every asset of this country, every military asset is as dear to me as to a Sikh, as to anybody. We are Indians.
This country tonight is facing a full-on military escalation by Pakistan. Gursimran is back live from Jammu. Gursimran, what's your location and what do you know now, sir? Gursimran.
Arnab, right now we are outside the Jammu airport and the airport has been secured. We are getting to know it is somewhere 500 meters that have been declared as a no-man's area because the CISF has taken the internal grid along with the NSG and the Special Operations Group of the Jammu and Kashmir Police. Now what we are learning that the IGP Jammu Zone along with the senior commanders of the Indian Army and the Indian Air Force, they are inside the airport. They are assessing the situation, but all the vitals and the assets of the Indian Army and the Indian Armed Forces inside the Jammu airport, since this is a defense airport, all the assets are secure. There has not been any damage to any of our assets that have been deployed inside. And now a strict vigil is being kept at any of the launches that is coming from across the border. So for now, we can confirm that the Jammu base of the Indian Defense Forces, that is the Jammu airport, has been secure. Also, there was an attempt that was made at the Sunjwan base. That stands foil. Badi Brahmana base, that stands foil.
From Jammu to Washington, and in Washington, we have breaking news inputs just coming in from Saurabh. Saurabh, back to you. Saurabh, we have News Mobile breaking inputs.
Yeah, Arnab, sources telling me tonight that India has also intercepted Pakistani, trying to respond to create communal tension in India by trying to strike Golden Temple. The whole idea was, the game plan was that they wanted to cover it into an Indian operation. That's one. Second thing, they've been trying to portray and send out through social media messages which have been intercepted that mosque was targeted by India, whereas this was the terrorist infrastructure. So they're trying to create communal tensions because they know they cannot fight militarily with India. But now their general, the Pakistani army and ISI is getting into its devious tactics, which India is expecting, not only making out that some of their, cyber channels are getting blocked, but also telling global community, international community, that this is what it's doing. Yesterday, if you recall, even the cyber attack on Republic as well was orchestrated by Pakistani hackers. They're trying to make sure that any source of information to Indian citizens that is blocked, and they're trying to create this devious game because they know they cannot fight us militarily, and that's the reason this whole disinformation campaign is being unleashed from Pakistan, Arnab. And this is what we are exposing, and this is what we are telling our international friends and allies tonight, that beware, Pakistan will try to do it.
And
they were trying to do it on international channels.
Then we should formally declare war. I mean, this is, and if they are trying to attack the Golden Temple, and that is what we're hearing from Washington, that there is enough information. They tried to target the Golden Temple. They're trying to target our civilian facilities. They're trying to target it. They're trying to target. Then why should we not? Yeah, why should we not just declare war?
Their main intent to attack the Golden Temple is to put a rift in between us and today are the technologically we are updated.
Just see, his aim is to hurt you, not, individual community-wise. It aims to hurt India, destroy your assets. He's declared a war. I am of the opinion, Arnab, when we are spending the night in the studio, I will request, we have a very stable, very strong government. We have a very clear-headed Prime Minister. Please call for a parliamentary session before the midnight, declare a war against Pakistan, and let there be emergency in the country to fight a war till the end, so that you bring him to a table and then you have your
bring him to his knees this time.
Terms and
they have
conditions,
tried to target major Indian cities.
It's time. People must realize he's not going to stop. If you stop this war after 2 days, he is not going to stop bleeding you through 1,000 cuts. I am saying it is time to attack him at 1,000 places.
Take a break.
With proper strategy, with proper planning, and with proper foresight. We should look through the thing. What do we? Our end game should be very clear in our mind. Our political leadership must give clear-cut directions of the end game. And if the end game is that never hereafter will be terrorism in J&K and POK will be handed over to India, if that is the end game, then let's not wait. This is the time. He's the weakest. Everybody, you ask anybody in this, ask anybody, he'll say he's absolutely weak. His economy is about to break. There is dissension among states. There is fight going on with Blue Cheese, this, that. If he's so weak, the international order is so weak, what are you waiting for? You are so strong. You are waiting for whom? You are waiting for someday for Ravan, for Lord Hanuman to come.
No, I think we have to. We are looking at non-contact warfare this time, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the era of non-contact warfare. This is our 21st century combat doctrine that prioritizes asymmetric force application without physical occupation or troop saturation. This is the way they talk about it. However, what Pakistan has done is what it did in 1971. They've targeted our entire western border. One, they targeted our military installation. They're targeting cities. They're targeting our religious centers. And therefore, there is a view that this is the time to formally declare war and go ahead and teach them a lesson. I need to take a break. Sir, I'll give you 10 seconds.
War means carry on like this, like Iran, Iraq did, like they are doing.
You're saying
in India, in case of India, Pakistan, you have to physically draw him, please.
Okay, let's see. I'll take this up. When I'm back, we'll go to Jammu, we'll go to Srinagar, we'll go to Jaisalmer. We're going to get for live news reports everywhere. We have a lot of breaking news. It's going to be a long night. A long night. I'll be back in a few minutes. This is Breaking News Evening.
Time for a quick breather. Arnab will be right back with the debate.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।